last one was all me. Keep it going. So, I'd put it at 0. I'd put it at 0. Didn't change to 0.
Good sign.
Hey, we have not yet begun to test. Hello, welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. I'm here to share with you the results of my initial testing of the Cyelee BEAR closed emitter optic. Now, as covered in previous videos, I was offered this optic to test with the conditions that my review be objective and the words torture test were mentioned. So, gotta love their confidence. Before we get into that, I'd like to shout out to my Patreon supporters. This all costs money and your contributions help more than you know. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to join them. I'd also like to thank channel benefactors, the businesses and individuals who have helped the channel in so many ways, even though they are not sponsors and I receive no money for mentioning them. Tyrone would be a good example because he donated a significant amount of the ammunition used in this test. So, first things first, let's have a look at the optic and talk about its features. Okay, like many closed emitter optics, it's not small. It looks almost ludicrously large on this PSA dagger. The controls are very, very simple. You have a down button and an up button, and they control the brightness of the dot, which is certainly as adjustable as you need it to be. The sighting in adjustments are easily accessed and clearly visible, very easy to use. I was able to very quickly sight this in with both of the test guns used so far. The battery is in an external case, so you don't have to remove the optic and change to 0. And it is a simple 3 MOA red dot, which, yeah, you can kind of see on the picture. So that's pretty much it for features. There's no on-off switch. It's a shake-awake unit. And if it's not disturbed for 4 minutes, it goes back to sleep. Now, when I first got it out of the box, I could not find a dot until I had held the plus button down. I don't actually know if that's how that's supposed to work, but it's worked ever since. Every time I move the gun, I'm able to get a red dot. And that's how it's supposed to be. And the simple feature set is kind of a plus and kind of a minus. So there's a lot to like about this, especially for $229. There's some things I don't like. First of all, because of the mounting system, it is too tall for co-witness sights. It's kind of a function of the mounting system, and it's going to vary a little bit from gun to gun, so your mileage will vary. But this mounts on a plate, and it comes with an RMR plate and an MOS plate, and with 3 screws of each type, even though you only need 2 screws of each type. But apparently they've met us, and we lose screws. And then you clamp it on with these 2 screws here. Now on the first gun, I put it on. The screws had the factory thread locker on them. I locked it down and it stayed locked down. After the test, we thought it had loosened up and then realized I'm an idiot and it was the slide moving, not the optic. The optic wasn't moving or loose in relation to the slide. The second time I mounted it, I used a knockoff thread lock, which you can see here. I won't name any names. It did not work at all, despite being allowed to cure for more than the requisite time. So I went out and bought Loctite. After 50 rounds, the plate had loosened up enough that it was very obvious. After 75 rounds, I stopped shooting it because it was just getting a little too loose. But it's now locked down with proper Loctite. And again, it's whether or not it's staying locked down is a function of the Loctite and the gun. It's not really a knock on the optic. But the plate mounting system, even though it's inevitable because there's no way to run screws through the body, you have to screw the plate down and then clamp the optic to the plate, which is robust, sturdy, well-designed aluminum. And it works, but it makes it tall. And I really would prefer to have the ability to co-witness with iron sights. You'll notice an iron sight is missing because I beat this around the gun with the optic mounted around so much, I knocked the front sight off. So yes, there was some impact testing. Now they do say that they test these for shock resistance before they leave the factory. And I believe them because I have subjected this to enough shock that if it was going to go out of 0, it would have gone out of 0. It didn't. Not on either gun. It actually maintained a reasonable 0 for short range at least, even after it started loosening up, which I think is quite a trick, and again, may have nothing to do with the optic or its mounting system. I like that there are so few controls and that they're so easily accessible. I don't like that they're so easily accessible that a couple times I have inadvertently brightened or dimmed the dots just handling the gun. Not necessarily a fault with the optic, but they're a little bit easy to hit. And let's see, doesn't co-witness with the sights. These are too easy, don't like the plate. That pretty much sums up the things I don't like. And again, there's not that much to show you in a tabletop because there is just not that much going on here. Just, it does everything it needs to and nothing that it doesn't. There are no superfluous controls. And there's something to be said for that. There's more testing to do. But at this point, I'm impressed, I have to say. It seems like a good optic. It does everything it's supposed to do. It keeps working through worse than standard day-to-day abuse and holds at 0. And it's reliable, it's robust, it's rugged. What more do you want? Getting it for $229, I'd pay that happily. And because they gave me a promotional code, which you can find below, you can get it for less than $229. Now, I get nothing. I get no compensation of any kind if you use that link. Okay, it's just between you and Cyelee. I'm out. So don't think I'm shilling for them by offering the promotional code. They wanted me to do it as part of the give and take of doing this review. And I have to say, I'm happy to do it because, as it turns out, it performs as advertised. And I don't know what more you can ask for. Okay, I do know what more you can ask for. I told you all the things I don't like. But honestly, it's not just good for the money, it's just good. Period. And at this point, pending further testing, there's really not much more to say about it. It's a good optic at a good price. Why wouldn't you? So, if you like the video, please hit like. It helps the channel a lot. Subscribing also helps if you want to see more content of this type. And commenting in the comment section also helps. So, there will be more testing. I'll keep you up to date. If anything goes seriously awry, you're going to hear about it. So, anyway, that's it for this time. I hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and we'll talk to you again real soon.